Live and direct, Fabian AllBallTV. This is a tough one, but we got to get right into it. Kevin Porter Jr., all these allegations that are against him, they sound crazy to get locked up for that. There's an insurmountable, I use a crazy word, right? Insurmountable amount of information to just absorb and read, and it's a lot, man. This kid he's a kid, clearly has issues. If this is where he's at in his life, it doesn't matter what happened. I hope they both get help. He needs to sit down somewhere, because once you're in a place where you're comfortable with violence happening towards women and children, it violates the code, man. It just violates the code of being alive, of being a protector. And it's tough. I think that's tough. Everyone's not built for that either. I'm not saying that I'm the greatest person ever. I think that's the part that people get lost in and become hypocritical. But you definitely want to reach out to someone like him and let him know, hey, you need to sit down. You need to go somewhere and be isolated, because you just blew the opportunity of a lifetime because you couldn't control yourself. Clearly, whether you think it was her fault, whatever your opinion is, whatever your thoughts are, it doesn't matter. The the result of what just took place is an extreme result of whatever's happening to you. If you cannot comprehend that, there will be a set of challenges in place, and there should be. The Rockets are supposedly looking forward for a trade for Kevin Porter Jr., and they're trying to attach draft picks to it, reportedly. The Athletic is reporting Rockets working to trade Kevin Porter Jr. after assault, strangulation charges. Houston Rockets are working to trade guard Kevin Porter Jr. in the wake of his charges of felony assault and strangulation due to an alleged attack on his girlfriend. Those sources say the Rockets have contacted multiple teams offering draft compensation as incentive to receive Porter, who has a 23-24 season slated for $15.9 million in year one of a 4-year, $82.5 million deal, with 3 non-guaranteed years. In deal scenarios using Porter's contract, the Rockets would be using his salary to target a player under contract who can play immediately and help the team, league sources said. The Rockets are keeping all options open with the future of Porter, a league source said. And the Rockets, of course, I believe they're in the top of the league in off-season acquisitions, off-season moves, with the signing of Fred VanVleet. They've signed Dillon Brooks. That's an attitude change in the locker room. You can't have that around with Dillon Brooks staying there. And, Dillon Brooks is the guy that's on the edge, right? Like, he's on the edge constantly. So you can't be on the edge with the likes of a situation like Kevin Porter Jr. is involved in. Um, and of course they drafted Amen Thompson, so they have to set the tone for someone like Amen Thompson, that they're willing to get rid of a guy like Kevin Porter Jr. So initially, I thought that this was a pretty big mistake for the Rockets to make, but it's a big time business decision where he has 3 non-guaranteed years on a contract. There will be a team that takes that on. That's what's enticing about the Chris Paul deal with the Warriors. Best believe, to me, the Warriors' worst case scenario is, hey, we can trade Chris Paul because this is not guaranteed. His contract is not guaranteed, or it's attractive to everyone else in the league, and they can trade him. It'll be a similar scenario to D'Angelo Russell when they traded for him. That's how they spun him and got Andrew Wiggins. The Rockets Like, what's stopping them from getting Giannis right now with a deal like this? And I know this is crazy to talk about with the news, but this is when you sit down in the general manager's office. Look, the Rockets are not shying away from business. So as a fan, for me, I'm always a fan of the front office, and this is big time. The Rockets. Who's their general manager? Let's see. I forgot the name. Rockets GM. Raphael Stone. So Raphael Stone is their general manager. Um, these are pure basketball decisions, man. Their president of basketball operations, interesting enough, is Gretchen Shear. Rockets exec Gretchen Shear on running an NBA team, working with HBCUs more. So, respectfully, I think the Rockets on a heavy. They're very. Gretchen Shear is working with HBCUs more. Like, that's in the athletic. To make that public is something different, right? That's something different for me because now you have a situation like this with Kevin Porter, and they immediately put out that they're trading him. That's usually something you wait for, but again, that's a message to the rest of the team, like I just mentioned, and also this is a position and just a huge opportunity for them. They can get rid of this guy after getting a 4-year deal. That's always like this is a major poison pill contract. To have 3 years not guaranteed, that says a lot about what they knew about him, I believe. And then because if you're that young and you're signing 3 years non-guaranteed in the NBA, this ain't football. This is not football. And a lot of I don't know. I saw a stat where I don't know who gets arrested more in the NBA or the NFL, but the violent crimes we would think is stereotypically has to go towards the NFL because you would think they're involved in a violent sport. The concussion more concussions exist, and they would participate in violent crimes a lot more often. It would just on a to assume that would be the case. That being said, Jalen Green is not a football player. Um, the Rockets may easily can cut him because it would be bad PR for a team to take him on, right? But they also can just they also can just take him on and business as usual. You can find a team that way. And Gretchen Shear here and Robert and Raphael Stone from the Rockets, they have they have a job on their hands to do this. Like the Boston Celtics are not going to participate in this, right? They're a top tier team, and they were just involved in that Ime Udoka scandal. You would think they want nothing to do with this. You would think so. You would think the Spurs want nothing to do with this because they cut the guy last year, right? Uh, is it Josh Primo? They cut Joshua Primo from last year after an incident like this. You can go down the league and see who has the players that people don't want and they want to dump them. Trust you me, somebody will bite. As much as this is tough to talk about, the Rockets are potentially in a big time situation. Big time situation. What do you guys think? I believe they can go after a significant star. Significant star. In a 3-team trade. They're also getting rid of draft picks. This is major. Giannis, Embiid has been rumored to go to the Rockets as well. Daryl Morey has a relationship with the Rockets. I would think that's the number one place he's going to. You want to draft compensation, and you get the salary dump. The Rockets seem like a great place. The the 76ers seem like a great place for the Rockets to make this deal with, man. And Embiid is out there. People are trying to win. And there you have it. Tough topic. Kevin Porter, you need beyond help. You need to sit down. If you're mentally ill, go get that help because you got to be out of your mind to do something like this. You have a 4-year deal for a reason, non-guaranteed for a reason. To the young lady, she deserves, all the protection in the world right now, and also to get help. Like it's a very traumatizing thing to go through. Anyone to just be in a violent situation, but of course we respect her the most out of this. And tell me what you guys think. Should he even be allowed in the NBA anymore? Should the Rockets be allowed to trade him?